Hey guys, and thank you for joining me. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to give you my recommendations to help you guys build a budget PC for around 450 bucks, even less if you get the rebates and any coupons, and of course you could just shop around. This is just a basic recommendation of some items that you'll need to just build your budget rig, and it's not going to play top of the line games, but you'll be able to play a lot of the newer games at lower resolutions, and you'll be able to, of course, surf the web, and it's going to be a great PC for the amount of money that, for 450 bucks, less than that, that's just great. When I first started building PCs, you would need at least 800 to 1,000 bucks to just get a decent computer that would probably do less than what this one's going to be doing for the amount of money. Now, here are the few recommendations. Again, you guys need to shop around, look around, but just your basics, And this setup will be awesome. I mean, for the price, it's a great starter PC, great budget PC. So, thanks for joining, and let's go ahead. All right, first things first. What you're going to be needing, of course, it's the brains of this operation. And what we have here is the AMD 6800K. It's the Richland 4.1 gigahertz. Now, of course, they got a newer version, but for the price, for $129, the A10 68K is an awesome APU. And what I mean by APU, it's going to be the what do you call this? I'm sorry. The graphics card is going to be integrated into the system. Now, I know a lot of gamers always like having a separate video card. But if you're on a budget, this is just going to be just fine. You'll be able to play a lot of the newer games, lower resolutions, but some of the older games, even at 1080p resolution. Okay, so this comes, it's the Black Edition with the AMD. The Black Edition means that you'll be able to overclock it if you're into that. You could always go online and check it out. It's not as hard as it used to be. But still, even at 4.1 gigahertz, you got a quad core. That's just great. It comes with the AMD Radeon HD 8670D. And there's an option that you could add an extra video card, and that way you could play Crossfire, I believe what they call it. And that'll improve your gaming. But just with the simple video card that comes with it and integrated into it, it's just great. All right, so we get that. That's $129. Now, of course, you're going to need a motherboard. And we're going to go here. We got the ASRock. It's the FM2A88M Pro 3 socket FM2. That'll complement your APU just great, perfect. It comes with it has HDMI, so that's great. You can connect it to your monitor with the HDMI. Nowadays, that's exactly what you want to be doing if you're going to be playing any high definition games, the 720, 1080p. You want that. That's the best connection for it. And check it out. It's only $56.99. That's just great. I mean, it's really cool motherboard. It's got a few bells and whistles, not top of the line again, but for the price, you can't beat that. All right, so next, we're going to go with RAM. You're going to need RAM. I advise you guys to get the best RAM you can. That's always going to help complement, especially if you're going to be using an APU. That's a huge advantage of getting a better RAM on there. That's why we're going to be looking at the DDR3, the 2133. The G-Skill Sniper series, awesome. I've used them in some of my builds, never had any complaints. And you could get 8 gigs for $61.99. That's just a great bargain. I advise you guys, I mean, it's always best to get 16 gigs if you can afford it. If not, just go with 8 gigs. 8 gigs is great. I mean, if you're just going to be playing regular games, doing very little video editing, and of course, everything else is just going to be perfect. Some people say 16 gigs is overkill. I personally don't think so. I always think 16 is great. But if you can't afford it, like there's been times I can't, I always just go with the 8 gigs and try to get a faster speed on there. The faster, the better. But 8 gigs is fine. All right, so what we're going to next is going to be your storage, where you want to hold your stuff. The minimum I advise everybody is 1 terabyte. Nowadays, it's so cheap. There's no reason to go anything less than 1 terabyte. So we got here is the Western Digital Blue, and it's 1 terabyte, 72 RPM. Always the RPM here is better. 72 is I think the fastest you could get right now. There's faster ones, but I think that's just higher classes, but you could always look into that. Your catch, 64 MB catch. I advise you guys always get catch. The higher the catch, the better. 32 the minimal, 64 is what I recommend. Of course, SATA connection, best way to connect it. I'll transfer everything fast. This one's going for $54.99. Great deal. 1 terabyte, that's perfect for beginners. Then later on, you could add more when you start adding up more of your collections and whatnot. All right, so what do we have next? See here, I got here the list here. Of course, you're gonna need a case for your rig. You got all this great stuff. You need a case to put it on there. And I found this one, the DIY PC Solo T1 BK Black. It comes with USB 3.0. That's great. So that way you can connect your motherboard. That comes with USB 3.0 to the connectors in the front. And that's the way of the future. So that's cool. It comes with 2 blue fans and one 120mm LED fan at front and 120mm fan on the rear, pre-installed already. That's great. For 29 bucks, that's unbeatable. So definitely. All right, so next one up, last but not least, what you're going to need is a power supply. I can't stress this enough, guys. Power supply, if you're going to cheap out on some things, that's okay. But power supplies, I advise you don't. Go with a well-named brand, something people recommend, a brand you've heard of before. And of course, you can't beat Corsair. They're one of the top ones. Their stuff is always great. I've never had any issues. At the beginning, I did buy some cheaper ones, and of course, some no-name brands. And boom, they short out, mess up your whole computer. You have to go run out, get a new one. Worse, it could just mess up your motherboard, everything else, hard drive, anything you connect to it. So you definitely don't want to cheap out on that. They got the Corsair CSM series. It's 550 watt. For this build, 550 watts is just great. That's just more than enough. Always I try to advise everybody to try to go with a bigger wattage than what you're actually going to need. But since it's a budget build, 550 is fine for what it has for this build. And it's $84. This week, there's a $20 rebate card, so it even goes down to $64.99. Can't beat that with a bat. All right, so there we go, guys. So we have here the case, the motherboard, power supply, the APU, the RAM, and the hard drive. I'm not adding a CD drive or DVD drive to this because nowadays you could pretty much just download everything you need. The only other thing you would need to add to this is, of course, your Windows or Linux if you're that savvy. Linux is free, and there's other builds on Linux that you could add to it. You could shop around for Windows 8.1. The price ranges depends on the sales between 70 to 108. But you might have an older version laying around. And now Windows 10 is going to be coming out, and I believe they're going to be offering that free. If you have an older version, just pop in the older version and get upgraded to the new one, to Windows 10 for free. So for the build we have here, the grand total is $418.74. That's just wild. I mean, for that price, you're going to get a computer it's going to be a budget PC, but you're going to be able to do a lot on it. And so there you go. Of course, shop around, look around, but these are just the basics, the simple stuff that you'll need just to be able to put together a great, decent rig. I hope this helped, and I'll be looking around for other deals and other setups, of course, like the higher-end gaming builds and whatnot. So I hope this helped. If you have any questions or comments, please add them, subscribe, let me know, and I'll try to help you guys out. Again, thanks very, very much, and hope you like, and I hope you guys built this. It'll be cool. Let me know. All right, take it easy. Catch you guys later.